Welcome back to another coffee and a chat. I feel like I've been gone on vacation or something, and I didn't get any rest. Hasn't been that long, but I have been not putting out videos the last few days because life happens. I thought my week was going to go one way and it ended up going another, but that's fine because it's been a good week, and I just kind of ended up having to do some other things I hadn't planned on doing. We'll just say that. And God had a different plan for this week, and so I've been kind of tied up helping some other people and doing some other things. But in that, God has pointed a couple things out to me. I made a mistake the other day. A mistake. I judged something and I judged wrong. It wasn't just a mistake. I don't think I've ever claimed to be a perfect person. I think I have always been pretty open with the fact that I know I am not perfect and I do get things wrong. And I don't want to be afraid to admit that to you guys. I don't want to try to cover the things I do wrong and just tell you about when I get it right, because that's not reality. And one of the things, one of our daughters has been here for a few days, and she wanted to share some scripture with her dad and I today, and so we sat down and we were reading this scripture, and a good portion of the scripture she was sharing with us was about the need to encourage each other, and how sometimes we're going through things, and especially when we're trying to serve God, and we can kind of feel alone, maybe a little lost in it, and how we need somebody that's going to be by our side encouraging us. And that really spoke to my heart, because that's what a lot of this week has been about, is just trying to encourage some people around me. And there's a whole lot more I would have liked to encourage and haven't been able to get to everybody, but just being able to just be there and be that support, that when things are tough and they're hard and somebody feels like it's just too much, that they know they're not alone in this. I mean, we're not alone anyway because God's with us. But I mean, if we're honest, I know for me to have that person there, that I can look them in the eye and I can hear their voice, and and I can touch their shoulder or whatever, that I can tangibly feel their presence with me and have them encouraging me, means a lot. And so hopefully I've been able to do a little bit of that for some other people this week. So where I judged wrong, I was in a situation where I was in a public building that handles all kinds of different business issues or whatnot. And, it's one of those things where you come in and you have to get a number, and then you have to go sit in this waiting room, and then you wait for, somebody to call your number, and then they tell you where you're supposed to go to meet with somebody about whatever it is you're there for. And it's kind of like the DMV. I remember thinking that, even though it's not the DMV, but it was kind of like that, but they want you to be quiet when you're in there. Don't be on your phone, don't be, chit-chatting and stuff, but they just want people to be quiet because it's hard to hear, and they don't want anybody miss when their number's called. And it was very crowded, and, and there wasn't really a whole lot to do while you're sitting there, and it was one of those things because there's all these different departments and different areas of where they help people with different things, so everybody's not there like for the same thing. And so there's different numbers for different things, and I don't know, it felt really kind of, actually truthfully, a little overwhelming and confusing. But I'm sitting there and I'm trying to pay attention to the numbers, and and there really wasn't anything to do, and you get that feeling I could be here all day. And so I just kind of started doing some people watching. I mean, there were people there to watch, and I saw this one family, or what I thought was a family. They really kind of got my attention, and it was like there was this mom and this dad, and then a teenage girl and a teenage boy, or at least that's, excuse me, that's what I felt they were. I've got my mom and dog has just come out of the whelping area and is laying down here at my feet. I think she's a little exhausted. And anytime she goes see the puppies, for those of you that might be new, we have puppies, and they're 10 days old today, and they're starting to open their eyes. So I'll post another short with them here in a few days when they turn 2 weeks old, so you can see how much they've grown since last week. Oh my word, even just overnight. But anyway, so you might hear a little rustling, and that's just mama trying to, because anytime she goes in with the babies, all they want to do is eat. I think she's exhausted, so I'm going to encourage her. Anyway, I was watching what I thought was this family, and so mom, dad, teenage girl, teenage boy, and so I noticed, like, the teenage girl, she's like, being kind of silly and kind of teasing very quietly with her dad, and then the dad was kind of talking to the mom, and like he was trying to encourage her. They were kind of sitting across from each other because it was very full, and so a family of 4 could not find 4 seats together, and so they were sitting across from each other, and the mom was sitting next to the boy. And the boy had his head down, and he wasn't really talking much, when they would say something to him, and he would just kind of shake his head or whatever. And he seemed very down. And, I started thinking, that's the problem with kids today. They're just not respectful of their parents. It's like what is he, pouting about something? The mom is just she was being so kind to him, and like she was trying to comfort him or something. I don't know, but, he just wasn't really seeming to respond to her. And then pretty soon their number got called, and the dad came over and sat down next to him, and he's like trying to say something to him, and it's just like, like this kid just isn't reacting or responding to them. And I'm thinking, man, mom and dad, are sure trying to help you out here, and I don't know what you're here for, but you're not being very kind back, or I don't know. I just kind of started in my mind thinking, here's what's going on. Well, after a few more minutes, their number was called, and so they got up. Well, the room that they went into to talk, was just right off of the waiting area, and you could really hear what was being said in there. And that's when I started feeling really bad. That here I'm sitting here thinking, oh, this pouty kid, what is his problem? Okay, they weren't a family. That wasn't his mom and dad. And turned out that his father had just passed away the week before. And so there was some business that needed to be taken care of, and the people at the funeral home had tried to help him figure out some of the things he needed to do, and all because he had to take care of everything with his father passing. And these people were friends of his father's, and they were trying to be there for him, to give him support, because the woman started asking him about other family members and anybody else that could do it. His family, they're all gone. His dad was the last family member he had, and here he is, this young man, and he's all alone. And you could just hear how broken he was, and how mature he was. They asked his age, and I heard him say his age, and I'm like going, man, he's really, really mature for his age. And I realize he's grieving, and they were trying to comfort him that, we're here for you, and we're going to help you get through this, and, because you need somebody, and we're going to be your somebody. That's what was going on there. He wasn't being rude or disrespectful or anything. And so it just really hit me again that we don't know what another person might be going through. It's really easy to say, wow, that person has a bad attitude, because we don't know that maybe their last living relative just died, that all of a sudden they are very alone in the world, and they are young, and they're trying to figure out, what do I do now? And they're a kid having to take care of grown-up things because there's nobody else there to do it now. So it was kind of a jolt back to reality for me, that it's so easy for us to think that we can figure out what's going on with somebody when we really don't know. And and I just was once again reminded, because I've been at this place before, where you just think, oh, that's what's going on. That person that, why, they were being rude to me, and and you don't know what that person is going through. Maybe they really weren't trying to be rude to you. Maybe they're just really having a struggle. And so it was like, I need to, be praying for people, not sitting there going, oh, what a problem. But I should have just, Lord, I don't know what's going on with this boy, but obviously something's not right here. And, so yeah, I did not have the right attitude in that. And I was thinking all these things and feeling actually very critical, if I'm honest with myself, over this young man's attitude, when I didn't even know what his attitude was. He wasn't pouting. He wasn't trying to be rude. He was keeping his head down and not showing a lot of response because he was crying. So, his back was to me, so I couldn't see that, and yeah. So that was lesson number 1. Lesson number 2, that, and it wasn't that I did anything wrong on this one, but just listening to someone that's going through some stuff, and they felt they could share their heart with me. And so, we sat, we talked, and they shared some stuff, and what it comes down to, and I totally understand. And this actually happened before this week, but it kind of helped me get through some stuff this week. But just a person that they just need to feel loved. Now, they are loved. I know they're loved. But they don't feel loved. So that has been another thing that has just been kind of working on me, is how we need to be aware of people around us, of the importance that, do the people in your life that you love, do they really know that you love them? I mean, not just saying the words, I love you, hey, I love you, or whatever. I've had people in my life that would tell me they loved me all the time, but, as my husband, as Marvin would say, the fruit of the relationship was not love. And, I've had people in my life that have told me they loved me when really all it was they were using me. I was convenient, or a step up to someplace something they were trying to achieve, someplace they were trying to get. Sometimes people say they love us when really all they're doing is using us. And this person that was talking to me about this, it's kind of, they've had a lot of people use them. And so in that, it's hard for them to believe that people really love them, because they're so used to being used. And, and knowing that it's more than just saying the words, but it's the actions we show. It's the things we do, the little things we do, that let them know we truly love them. And I've thought, there's little things Marvin does. I mean, Marvin's been giving me a hard time lately and teasing me a lot. Yeah, so I've had to go, yeah, no, wait, he does love me. No. But there's little things that he does that I try to make sure, when I, to notice them and to thank him for them. But it's things like, getting up in the morning and getting dressed and having to go, take care of dogs and do dishes. And sometimes I've got kids here and, whatever I've got to do. And then going back into the bedroom to make the bed, and it's already made. Because my husband knew I had a lot going. He does this a lot. There's a lot going on today. I know there's a lot going, because I'll be like, you made the bed? Thank you. And, and he's like, well, yeah, I know you've got a lot going on, and I appreciate everything you're doing for everybody else. And it just seemed like something little I could do for you, so you would know. And it's things like that, that it's like, he really does love me. I mean, I know he does, but those are acts of love. Those are things he doesn't have to do. And, yeah. just noticing those things, and then thinking about what are the little things you can do. I said that one of our, we've got one of our kids here right now. She's been here for a few days. And the other morning I got up, and I've been so tired, wore out and spent. And I got up, and she was doing the dishes. She did my dishes for me. She didn't have to do that. And she's like, "It's okay, Mom. Everybody needs a break sometime." And it's like, yeah. And it's like, you don't even know how much I appreciate that. Those little acts of kindness that we can do for each other because we love each other. Not looking at what somebody else is going to do for me, but what can I do for you? And so, I've tried to do things for her to make sure, little things to show her how much I love her. I've tried to do some little things for Marvin to show him how much I love him. And even, different friends I have and stuff, that when I have an opportunity to do something, to be able to do, even if it's just a little thing that lets them know that I love them. Because I'll tell you what, God's doing big things, little things all the time, letting me know he loves me. And that's another one. What have I done lately to let God know? To show him. He knows, but to show him how much I love him. So I guess it's just been kind of a week of reflecting on some things and noticing some things and learning some things that really have to do with, how we interact with each other, and giving a person the benefit of the doubt, and not being so quick to be all judgmental about something and think we've got it all figured out, because odds are we don't. All right. So just wanted to share that with you guys and just kind of get back on here. I've missed doing this, and I've stayed up late tonight so I could do this, because I needed some peace and quiet and to be able to do it. And the dog is wore out too. Those puppies have wore her out, so she's even being quiet for me. So anyway, just wanted to come on, share a few things with you guys, and to tell you guys that I love you, and I thank God for you. And there are so many of you out there that do little things to let me know that I'm making a difference, and you encourage me and to keep on going and stuff. And yeah, I notice and I appreciate it. All right, with that, I think I'm going to go to bed, because I need sleep. That is, for months now, I need sleep, but I think I'm getting a little bit caught up now, so that's good. All right, I love you guys, and I will be talking to you real soon. I hope you're doing well, growing in the things of God, and encouraging each other, and trusting the Lord to meet all your needs, because he will. All right, talk to you soon.